I'm known in my company as the girl who moves so much that she has to start her business over and over and over again. I've been in 5 different cities within 24 months and had to restart my business. So I'm known for a training called Zero to Hero, and Kathy wanted me to share that with you. Recently, my company went onto the web and started doing things on the computer. And to be honest, I told Kathy, you better get on here early just to be sure that I can get on and figure it out. So she did. My nose is itching. Sorry about that. So she did and helped me, and I got on, and I'm really glad about that. But when my company said that they were going to go online and do all these video kind of shows, I said no. I'd been selling Premier at that point for 23 years. And I liked it the way I did it. I've talked to some nurses too who said they used to like to nurse when they didn't have a computer too, and that they have felt that kind of fear. And I don't know if you've ever felt that kind of fear, but I don't want to be looked at like I'm looked at here. I would have been much happier, like all these people who didn't put their picture up, for you not to be able to see me. But the fact of the matter is that's where retail is going. Retail is going online. It's going on the internet. And Pampered Chef was way ahead of the curve. I mean, your website is great. It is so great that I know how to use it, okay? That's scary. I mean, that means that y'all are way above the curve. You've got the best product, you've got a great leader, and you've got a great website. So just know what you've got is really, really good. So in all the moving and all the restarting that I had to do, one of the things that I learned was, well, 4 things that I learned. One, that people everywhere cook. People everywhere cook, and people everywhere need kitchen supplies, or whatever y'all call them, kitchen gadgets or things. And everybody wants their life to be easier. Okay? Everybody everywhere wants to save money. That's number 2. Everybody everywhere. Is that me? Is that me doing that voice? Okay. If I'm doing something, you have to tell me, because I'll just keep on going. I don't even know I'm doing it. All right? So everybody likes to save money and get something for free. Everybody needs extra income. That's number 3. And I can do anything I set my mind to if I don't allow myself to get discouraged and quit. I tell my girls in Premier, you can't quit till your bottom falls off. And I keep looking over my shoulder, and mine is still there in a very big way. Okay? I can get discouraged. I can talk to my leader. I can complain to my upline. But I can't quit. All right? So what I also realized was that Pampered Chef works, but sometimes the Pampered Chef lady doesn't work. Okay, so if you're selling your Pampered Chef, it works. You're going to make money. You're going to share with people. You're going to sponsor people, recruit people, whatever the word is y'all use from it. But sometimes the reason I wrote this little training was because everybody was going to trainings all the time, and they gave you ideas of what to do at a jewelry show or at a Pampered Chef party. Well, sometimes I would be there and didn't have one on my calendar. And I'm like, that's a great idea. If I could get people in front of me, if I could get into their homes, that would be good. I could use that. Has anybody ever felt that way? You went to a training and then all of a sudden, yeah, you got great ideas, but you say, my calendar is, I have a disease and it's called ESS. ESS is called, it's a disease, it's called the empty square syndrome on your calendar. Every time I move to a new town, I look down and I've got ESS. I've got nothing in my squares. And I like to highlight my little squares yellow and know, what I'm going to do. But I read this scripture recently. It's 1 Corinthians 9:26. I do not run without a goal. I fight like a boxer who is hitting something, not just the air. So what I want you to do is be sure you have long-term goals, because what happens is long-term goals keep you from being discouraged by your short-term setbacks. And that's what these booking problems are. They're just short-term setbacks. But what happens in our minds is we need to quit. If you've never felt that way, you will. And if you do feel that way, get over it and move on. Okay? You've got to keep going. Don't expect to do the same thing over and over and get different results. If you keep asking the same people to do a Pampered Chef show who have had one every year for the past 5 years, they're going to say no sooner or later. You've got to get out and find new people. So I did all of the things and have done all of the things and do all of the things that I'm going to tell you. But because I have 30 minutes, which is not very long, I'm going to go through them quickly. And you can ask questions and you can friend me on Facebook afterwards and personal message me if you like. It's Cindy Sanidas, Sanidas Sturtridge. All the things I'm going to tell you, I was not comfortable doing, but I did them. And as I did them, what happened was my calendar got so full I couldn't keep doing very many. One time I did the activities 38 days in a row. And I did those activities 38 days in a row until I was too busy. I couldn't go out looking for more leads because I had so many leads on my desk and I had so many bookings and new jewelers, which y'all's would be called pampered chef cook ladies or whatever y'all are called. I'm sorry, I don't know your lingo. But anyway, that you couldn't go out and look for more leads. So the first thing is, you'll love this one. I knocked on my neighbor's doors. Now, when I lived in Palm Coast, I lived in a condo. It was frowned upon, okay? They didn't like me knocking on the doors. But I even knocked on one door. The lady didn't even speak English, and I was showing her the book, and she goes, "Oh, mi hija." She was pointing to her ring, telling me her daughter sells Premier. And we couldn't even speak the same language, but people around you are lonely. And as you knock on their door, you're going to find things in common other than your pampered chef. You're going to make friends, you're going to get bookings, and you're going to talk to somebody who knows somebody who might want to have a show or a party. But you have to be out and doing it. Two things. Another thing is I book mystery hostess shows on my calendar in advance, and I make a flyer to that date. So I have a mystery hostess show, and I have a flyer, and it has 2 dates. One of them would be we're in September, and one of them would be in October. As I'm going everywhere, what I'm doing is handing out my flyers, meeting new people, getting their name and number. You have to be a names collector. You can't just hand out your literature and not take a name and number because you're wasting your literature and it costs money. I don't know how much yours costs, but ours are not cheap. So I am going to be a names collector. I'm going to make contacts. I'm going to give out my own literature. And in return for that literature, which costs money, I'm going to get a name and number back so that I can call and follow up. Because you have to follow up. That's where you're going to make your fortune. I know you've heard that. The fortune's in the follow-up. I attend networking meetings. I attend them all the time. Networking meetings around your neighborhood and your area. You can go onto Facebook. You put the name of your city. So I put networking in St. Augustine. Up comes a variety of meetings. I begin to attend those meetings. Let myself be known in the community. You have a business in the community. You need to serve that community. Your Pampered Chef business is not about you. It's about serving ladies in the community who need to know more about how to make a dinner in a short period of time. I don't have time for all my stories, but this is a really good story that I even tell when I'm training in Premier. There was I had 259 people on my team when I lived in Virginia. I'm old now. I'm a Premier dinosaur. I've been in 24 years. But I was a huge Premier leader back in the day. And my mother got sick, and I had to take care of her for 4 years. But I was not interested in cooking. I had a full-time maid that came from 10 to 2 and cooked all my meals. One Pampered Chef lady told me she sold cooking tools. And I didn't need cooking tools, so I never did business with her. Another lady told me, Cindy, she goes, I can make you look like a chef in 30 minutes. And I said, weekends, my maid doesn't work. I need to look like a chef in 30 minutes. And so I had her come to my house, and she brought over a stone. And I think she brought over, I don't know, a few things, whatever you make the chicken broccoli ring with, whatever those products were. And she taught me how to make a chicken broccoli ring, which on Johnny's birthday, my youngest son, I still make that. Now, this was 15 years ago. I bought everything that lady had. I had many, many shows in my home for her. Why? Because she told me how she could help me and not what she sold. Does that make sense? Being a Pampered Chef lady, does that make sense to you? Tell them what you can do for them. I'm way off my notes now because that just reminded me that that's important because I don't cook that much. Now I do. I cook every day. I cook every day at 8 o'clock, serve my husband dinner. That's why this is at 7. But back then, I had 4 little kids, and I didn't cook. So I told you how to put your name in the Facebook and look for all of the networking groups. Now, when I would get to a city, many of you would say, oh, I couldn't find any networking groups in my neighborhood. When I get to a city, if I can't find networking groups that work for me, I create my own. So when I came to St. Augustine, there wasn't a lot to be had. So now there's Networking Women of St. Augustine run by Cindy Sturridge. I think I have about 280 members of my networking group now. Most of my shows and new jewelers come from my networking group. Every month there's a new people coming in. So if you can't find things, you need to make them happen. You need to get off your duffer, that's your bottom, and make things happen, okay? I went to the park, and I sat at the park and took a little tray of jewelry and began to price it. So you can take your little cooking pieces that aren't heavy and take them to the park, sit and watch young women walk up with their children, and they'll say, what is that? They're so curious. I sat the other day at Panera with a tray of jewelry, and 5 women came up and said, is that jewelry? I said, yes, it is. I sell jewelry. Would you like to have a catalog? May I have your phone number? I'll give you a call and invite you to one of my parties. Okay? You make it happen. If it's not happening for you, you make it happen. One thing I do is I ask people when I meet them, who is the most connected person you know in this city? When I moved to Palm Coast, 3 people said the same woman's name. So I looked on Facebook, I found her, I told her how I found her, and I began to do business with her. She invited me to do an event where I sponsored my first 2 jewelers in Florida and became friends with them. One of the little girls I sponsored started coming to my church, got saved, and I held her son while she was baptized in the ocean because I asked who was the most well-known person in their community. You want to be connected with people who are connected. Does that make sense? Because this is so weird, nobody talking back. Isn't that weird? Or y'all shake your head or wave or tell me that you're there. Yay, thank you, good. Oh, I like your girls, Kathy, thank you. Kisses to you. All right. One thing you need to do, and I don't know how you do it or whatever, but she tells me you do it just like this. You need to attend your trainings. People say to me sometimes, well, everything we learn, I've learned before. Well, you're not only there for you, you're there for the new reps that are there that need a friend or need some encouragement, and you need to be there. I went to a training on a Tuesday, and I moved into my home on a Monday. My husband's like, where are you going? I said, I've got to go. There's a training here. There's a local training, and I need to go. He goes, you don't need to go to a training. You're a 5-diamond designer. Why are you going? I said, I'm going. Why? Because that is how you motivate yourself. You have to be self-motivated. Find a new hairdresser, okay? If you've been going to the same hairdresser over and over, and nail lady, I have no nail because they're closed. But anyway, if you find a new nail lady, go in there. I went to a nail salon one time, met a lady. She had a jewelry show. One of my jewelers needed a place to live. They hooked up. This was Kathy. I guess I lived there, 10 years ago? These 2 people are still roommates. Kathy Saka. You know Kathy Saka, I think, Kathy. And she's roommates with a lady I met at a nail salon and sold jewelry to. Be a connector. If somebody has a need, meet their need with your Pampered Chef business, okay? Meet their need. When you begin to meet other people's needs, God fills your needs. When you think about others more than you think about yourself, you sell more product. You book more shows, and you sponsor more people. So when I told Premier no that I was not going to do this online thing, that I don't like these videos, I'm not doing it, I went and got a job. I know you can't believe that. But after 24 years, I never had a job. Oh my gosh. That is no fun, okay? I went and got a job. I kept that job for 12 months because I was the manager of a craft mall, okay? And I met lots of people and I could put my jewelry table up there. At Christmas, I sold $1,600 of my jewelry at that craft mall. That's good, okay? That's exciting. But finally, I just decided I don't want to get up in the morning and I don't want to work for somebody else. So I went back to my Premier business full time about 6 weeks ago. So in the month of, we're in September, in the month of August, I sponsored 6 new reps and sold $2,200 worth of jewelry after working a full-time job for a year. So people who say, I just don't do it, I don't have leads, you go get them. You go get those. The way that I sponsored those new people was, what I did was I made a personal message and then a scripted message. So I had something about the person, like, how are you and your daughter doing? I know you're very, very busy, but I wanted to let you, we have a great special going to sign up for the business this month. I felt like it would not be fair of me not to share it with you. I know you're busy and you might not be interested, but I didn't want to leave you out. I shared with 40 people. 40 people personally on a personal message, and I sponsored 6 of them last month with the special. Because it's all in the numbers and it's in caring about the other person. I didn't just send a scripted message. I sent something special to that person that had to do with them and their life, and then something about what was going on in my business. Shake your heads if that makes sense. It has to be personal. It can't be scripted. I love this head thing. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Okay, the reason you go and see a new hairdresser is because they love to see new heads walk in. So then once they see you and you're going to be a new client for them, then you can ask them, can I put my Pampered Chef books out on your table with my business cards? And when people walk in, would you mind handing it to them when you have a new client? I would love to send new clients your way. If you would give me a few dollars off my haircut for every client I send, I would love to give you a few dollars off your Pampered Chef order for anyone you send to me. And I've done that with every place I've ever moved, every hairdresser, and always had success. Many will ask me, can you come set up the jewelry on a Saturday? When I've asked for things like that. Why? Because you're building a relationship with that person, and they see that you're going to do something for them as well as them do something for you. Okay? Ask ladies, do they have a Tupperware lady or a well, y'all are Pampered Chef ladies, but a Premier lady or whatever the other ones are. Y'all can know whatever I'm talking about. Let's see, with Tastefully Simple lady. And then connect with those people. Another way that you can do that is go on to the business's website, and you can click your zip code and it'll bring up one in your area from that business. You can contact them, tell them you're new in the area, which is what I did with Kathy, and you'd like to do a show swap. My Premier mom is against show swaps totally. But I just had a Tupperware party with the lady who has a full-time job and sells Tupperware, and I don't ask. If they're selling something else, I don't ask them to sign up for Premier. But after I did the jewelry show in her house, she asked me about Premier. She said, I sell Tupperware, but I can't quit my job just on Tupperware. I was thinking maybe if I sold both, I could quit my job. So my Tupperware lady, who just had a $600 Tupperware party with 15 people in my house, just signed up for Premier and has a future plan to do both and to quit her job. She has a full-time job. So, and I met Kathy that way. So if you have a calendar full of bookings, show swaps are a no, 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 okay? Because you don't want to waste anything, any night, on another business if your Pampered Chef calendar is full. But girl, if you don't have any Pampered Chef shows, you've got plenty of time to help somebody else and to do a show swap and to meet all of that lady's friends. Does that make sense? You have a full calendar, show swap is a no. Okay, write that down. If you don't, you got plenty of time. I visit my local chamber of, how many more minutes, Kathy? Go ahead, okay. I visit my local chamber of commerce. You're allowed 2 free meetings at the local chamber of commerce. I can meet 30 people in 2 meetings, okay? 30 people. Every day you should be meeting at least, I'm gonna say what I do, I wanna meet 5 new people a day. That probably freaks y'all out. But if you meet 5 new people a day, and let's say you can only meet 1, and you know, for me, sometimes I only meet 1, you know, but if I meet 1 new person a day and share a catalog with them, tell them about what I do and how I can make them a chef in 30 minutes, I'm gonna have 30 new leads on my desk that I can ask to have a show or tell about the Pampered Chef opportunity. But if I'm not ever meeting any new people, I don't have leads that I can share with when a special comes out for Pampered Chef. Okay, and I hear y'all have a really good special on your kit right now. Okay, and I'm the kind of person that wants to do everything. I told Kat, I said, oh my word, that's wonderful. I mean, I even got excited about it. Okay, so you need to have someone to share it with. Meet at least 1 person every day. That's 30 new leads. I suggest 5. Go to churches and ask about their ladies' events. When they have a ladies' event, I did this in Palm Coast, and the lady invited me to come and set up my jewelry at a tea. They told me I would not be allowed to talk, that I could just sit there and with my table and let people look. So I had showed a few ladies at the table about how to twirl my pearls. Kathy, I know you've seen that when you braid those things up. And right in the middle of the program, now I'm somebody, like, I practiced. I looked over my notes before I talked to you today because I don't want to be horrible and y'all be bored to death, right? So I didn't practice because this lady told me I couldn't talk. Right in the middle of the program, she calls me up to the stage, want me to twirl my pearls and talk about Premier. I thought I would have a coronary right there in front of 100 women in Palm Coast. I was about to die. But do you see how asking one church about their women's group got me in front of, I don't know how many people were there, tables and tables and tables of people who saw me twirl my pearls, and then people in Palm Coast were asking about me. Okay, so be sure that you ask churches for ladies' events. You can offer it as a fundraiser if you have to, but you don't have to give something to get in front of women who you are going to help. Remember, you're going to help them learn how to be a chef in 30 minutes like me. I can still make that broccoli ring. Another thing I do is I hold little talks at the Starbucks, and I buy the coffee for the people who show up. So I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to have a Java and jewelry. I'm going to let those people come and listen, and 1 or 2 people show up and somebody gets in the business. I spend $10 or $15. My nose is itching so bad. I don't know why. But anyway, so that way you're sharing about your Pampered Chef business, and you can bring something to work on while you're there. So in case nobody shows up, you can work on making your calls, bring a list of people you can call so you can make that work time. So be sure to set your work time. I hold vendor events, and I go to the vendor event. I expect nothing. Go to a vendor event and expect nothing, but take names and numbers for your leads. When you start, I did a vendor event in Palm Coast one time. It's been a very successful market for me. I think I booked like 18 shows at that vendor event. And what I did was I hung something up there. It was a little bag, and I said, you get a free bag if you book a show, and you can take it home with you. And people always say, well, what if I give away my peeler or whatever you have, and they don't hold the show? If I get 3 shows and give away 5 peelers, I still am making money. You have to evaluate that by the cost. So you could give away those little $2 cookbooks because I want that. Okay? And I know to you, the $2 cookbook is not very important because you got all the nice things, you know, that pots that make everything. But to people who don't and aren't Pampered Chef reps, they want those. So you take what you have and you book shows with it at your events. You also share about the business. If you are invited to something that is not a Pampered Chef event, you always attend. So if you're invited to a Premier Jewelry Show that Kathy has that I'm doing, you come. If you're invited to a child's birthday party, you come. Why? Because it's respectful. And then when you hold something, they come back. And also you meet all the friends at the event. You do not talk about your Pampered Chef. You wait until the host says, oh, Kathy sells Pampered Chef. You should get one of those little $2 cookbooks from her. They're so good. And then you can talk. You don't make yourself a nuisance, but you make yourself available to the community. Shake your heads if you know enough, if that makes sense. So you say, oh, I'm too busy to go. No, you're not. If you wanted to build your business, you would go and meet new people. That's what you have to do. You have to meet new people. I go to the pool. I take literature. I take a pen. I take my business cards every time I go to the pool. Even though that's my off time, I'm still ready. Okay? Okay, this is silly, but I used to hang out in the towel aisle. I think I'm 3 minutes over, Kathy. I used to hang out in the towel aisle in Kmart back in Virginia where we had Kmarts. I don't know if y'all have those, but I would just hang out there, and then they'd walk up and I'd say, oh, are you redoing your bathroom? They'd say, no, we just need some new towels. I'd say, me too. I'd be all dressed up in my jewelry, and they'd say, oh, your jewelry's so pretty. I said, oh, that's because I sell jewelry. And so you can meet people, you know. One lady, I told this lady she was going to go to the Dollar Tree and do that. She calls me when she gets home. She goes, I was terrified. I was running around with my cart trying not to talk to people. What is wrong with you? I said, well, I'm just trying to teach you to try it. You don't have to be weird. You don't have to be a stalker, but you do have to learn to smile at people. And when you smile at people, they'll smile back at you. And then when you're in the line and you've already smiled at them a little bit, you can hand them your brochure and you can say, I hope you're comfortable. I'd love to take your number and invite you to one of my parties. Young mothers is a big deal. They have play dates. I'm lucky because I have young mothers in my family, so I can hook up with the young mothers groups, but there's young mothers groups and there's young mothers meetups. Are y'all familiar with Meetup? You can go on meetup.com and you can go to meetups with young mothers, and you can say, I'm not, well, if you're my age, you have to say, I'm not a young mother. I'm an old grandmother, but I'd love to show you how to be a chef in 30 minutes, you know, because I heard this lady tell me how she felt when she learned how to make the chicken broccoli ring. All right. You don't need your upline to run you a contest. When you get off of this call tonight, I want you to have your own contest. All right? This hurricane is messing up my every goal. I am mad as a hornet. So I made today a hurricane sale. Buy one item and get 50% off your second item. And guess what? I'm inviting all of you to my sale with Kathy's permission. She told me I could invite you to my sale. So friend me on Facebook and come to my sale because I have to win this cruise, and this hurricane is messing me up. So you get a good deal. The bad weather is your good savings. All right. This is the last story, Kathy, and then I'm done. All right?
You're fine.
Okay. I was taking care of my mother, and she was very, very sick. She passed away in 2012, but I took care of her for 4.5 years. I lost half of my business during that time. But my mother loved to go to this place called Fashion Bug. You remember the reason that I'm on this call is because I asked Kathy to do a show swap. The reason that I get to meet each and every one of you is because I asked somebody for something, right? So you don't be afraid to ask because it pays off. Well, I've got my mother in the wheelchair, and she loves peach cream from Mary Kay. She loves that stuff. And she wants me to rub it on her all the time. It drives me nuts, but all the time rub this peach cream on her. So I go into the Fashion Bug, and there's this lady, a Mary Kay lady. just a blessing because I needed that stuff, but I didn't have time to call because I was so busy changing diapers and doing all the things I did for my mother. But she had some cream there on the table, but she was on the phone and she would not pay any mind to me. She was just going, girl, I'm up here at the Fashion Bug and this and that. And I've got my mother. I just need to buy some cream. Just shut up and give me some cream. Okay? But she wouldn't listen to me. Finally, I said, excuse me. I'd like to buy this cream for my mother. Oh, girl, stop. Hold on. And she hangs up her phone and sells me the cream. So I ask her, I go, how, because she was not paying any attention to me. So I said, how in the world did you get to set your table up at Fashion Bug? You know, like, how did you do that? This is a corporate store and they have creams. She goes, girl, I just went up to the desk and I asked. I went, really? She said, yes. So I walked up to that counter and I asked, could I set my jewelry up? She goes, you can set it up every Saturday and bring your mother. We love her. They sell jewelry at Fashion Bug. The point of the story is this. Are you asking? Are you really asking people? Are you really showing them your Pampered Chef catalog? Because if you're not, you're missing out on tons and tons and tons of happy customers, people that you can bless. People who will make your chicken broccoli rings for the rest of their life and think they're a chef in 30 minutes. So girls, thank you so much for letting me speak. Please, please friend me and help me get on my cruise with your buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one 50% off. I messed up. I can't give it to you free. Buy one, get one 50% off sale. And I look forward to y'all friending me. I hope I know who each and every one of you are, but just say, I know you from the Brady Bunch call. It's a story of a Pampered Chef lady who was going out to ask everyone to have a show. All right. Bye. Good night.
Don't you hang up. I got to tell you something, ladies. Cindy messaged me when she first decided to leave the Coconut Barrel and go back to Premier Jewelry. And she messaged me and she said, hey, Kathy, can you do a show swap? And I did not respond to her right away because it was at the same time that Mary, had decided to resign and I was trying to get to know everybody. So my head was still swimming just a little bit. And about 2 days later, I got another message from Cindy that said, so I guess you don't want to do a party, huh? So she seriously guilted me into it. I did a party for her. And I got to tell you something else about Cindy lives in a 55 or older community. And oftentimes you walk into her home and the first thing out of these women's mouths are, I didn't even bring my checkbook. I don't cook anymore. So when I go, I do not show off the quick cooker. I do not show off the blender. I actually took the pasta maker and I don't remember what, and the manual food processor. I made the appleberry salsa and I made the minestrone soup, which Cindy, credit to Cindy, had $500 in orders before my party. And we ended up with at least an $800 and some odd order because I focused on the people in her community that this was what they were going to buy. Jack could not believe I didn't use one of my power tools. He said to me, what are you doing? But that is the way it worked. Just remember that you want to focus to the people that you're selling to. Now let's see, I've got some questions here. Does anybody, I will post the link actually to Cindy's party because I do so appreciate you joining us. Does anybody have any questions? I'm reading anybody? Nothing? You're all so quiet?
They can what do you call it? Unmute yourself and ask if you'd like to ask a question.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Wynn.
I just wanted to say thank you, Cindy. I love your honesty. I love your determination. Oh my goodness, very valuable message. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And Joanne, I want to hear how you're doing and what you're doing, okay? That follow-up is important, so let me know. Makes me feel better.
Cindy, okay. Joanne has been with Pampered Chef about as long as you have been with Premier Jewelry.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I'm a dinosaur. You're a dinosaur too?
Yeah, I'm a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather be a grandma than a dinosaur, but yeah,
Yeah,
same thing.
Me too. I'm a gaga and I love it. But you know what? I've started to do the videos and my customers like it. Even,
Mhm.
I wanted to show you this because I have this stuff as my props. You are awesome. Can you see it?
Great. I love that.
So I have a little prop so that it isn't crazy, so I don't look so dumb when I get hung up on my words. Yikes.
No,
So
going
hard.
live is really what you want to do. So ladies, if nobody has any questions, by the way, Miss Cindy, for joining us tonight and being as wonderful as you always are. You know that little square pan that you wanted, the stoneware? I got it for you. We'll get it for you at Tabitha's. So you don't even have to buy it. It's all yours. You have no idea how much I appreciate
question?
you. Yes, go ahead.
Free.
I'm sorry. My name
Where
is
are you?
Kim.
Who is this one? Where?
My name
I
is
don't-
Kim. My video's not on there.
Okay.
Oh, okay, Kim. Okay. Can't see your pretty face. Okay.
Sorry, my dogs are barking. I'm new to Pampered Chef. What exactly is a show swap?
That means that I am a premier lady. I sell jewelry and you sell Pampered Chef. So when I ask you to do a show swap, I say, if you will do a jewelry show in your home, I will do a Pampered Chef show in my home. And then we mutually both work very hard on those shows to make them successful and get a lot of people there for each other so that we can build the people that we know. It's all about meeting more new people instead of people that you already know that are already in your circle of friends.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That makes sense? Okay. Anyone else?
Okay. Lynn, do you have a question or are you just waving to us? Just waving. All
She
right,
has
ladies.
a question. No, she has a, oh, there you go. Okay,
Okay,
go ahead.
I couldn't unmute myself. I wanted to know, Cindy, I liked the comment that you made that you asked, can I take your name and your information so I can invite you to one of my shows? How well has that worked out for you?
Nobody tells me no.
I mean, you actually invite them and they actually show up?
Yeah, from time to time. Now, a lot of times you'll invite them and they'll say, oh, I'm busy. It is hard for a stranger to walk into your house. Okay, that's when you become their friend on Facebook. Now it's so much easier. I mean, I've done this when we didn't have a computer. I've done this when I had to actually call them on the phone and go, hey, girl, want to go have tea? You know, but doing it now is so much easier and it takes so much less time. Are you comfortable giving me your name and number? I'd like to invite you to a jewelry party. They say, well, sure, I'll give you my name and number. Matter of fact, I have one right here. This is not what I would suggest, using napkins. I would not, I would suggest that, and, you know, the younger people think you're stupid, like when you write it on a napkin, they go, why don't you just pick out your phone and put me in your phone? It's so embarrassing. But all I think about is little notes and napkins. But please think, if they're a younger person, just say, hey, let me call you, and then you'll have my number. What's your number? Or you can get a digital business card where you can send your actual digital business card to them while you're standing right there. Me, dinosaur that I am, I cannot remember those things, and I still have napkins with leads on my desk. I have boxes of napkins. Just crazy. But just, yes, they do come. I have one lady, Virginia Frost, who follows me on Facebook, who I met like that, and she's now a dear friend. But not always. They're scared. Go ahead, Kathy.
Cindy, when you talked about the 40 people that you asked, okay?
Yes.
Can you send me a message with the wording that you used? I love
Yes.
the wording that you used, and I will post it in our team page. Now, you know I have invited you to our PC Honeybees page, but
Yes.
I can also invite you to Team Awesome. I'm sure the girls would love to have you on our team page because you often have so much to share with us. Cannot
I'm
appreciate very much how we appreciate that.
I love that. So that's a different group.
Yeah, because we've combined two groups right now. But if you would send me that wording so I can
Yeah.
give it to the girls, okay? Ladies, I have recorded this. I did miss the first few minutes because we all know I'm a blonde. Sorry. But seriously, I'm really a gray, but we'll go with blonde. But I am going to let you go because it is 7:43, and quite frankly, my rum and Coke is waiting for me before the hurricane hits. I pray for all of your safety, for those of you who are down here. I hope you make it, we make it through this. Certainly have to send our prayers out for the people in the Bahamas. You know, the saddest thing about a hurricane is we pray that it doesn't hit us, and then we pray for the people it hits.
Yeah.
Good luck to all of you.
Yeah, it's really pretty scary. It's like 1 mile an hour. What hurricane moves at 1 mile an hour? Seriously, are you kidding me?
Sad.
True.
Frightening. Bye, everybody. It was nice meeting you.
Bye, guys. Go make
Good luck.
dinner.
Thank you.
See you online, my new friend.
Bye, guys.
Bye.